So I've got a question here. AB is the diameter of a circle, and what we want to do is find the equation of that circle, and we are given that the coordinates of point A is -2, 5. So I've drawn them up on this diagram here, and point B is at 4, 13. So I've got 4 and 13. There's my point B. So AB is my diameter, which goes across to here, and I'll put in a dotted line around the outside. That's a rough guesstimation of what my circle might look like. Okay, now first of all, what's the equation of a circle? So the equation of a circle is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared. So what we've got here is a comma b, that's the centre of the circle, and I've got my r squared, that's my radius squared, so therefore r is the radius. So from this information I may be able to find out what the equation of this circle is if I can find the centre point. So the centre point of a line, we know what our equation for that is. So let's just set that up. So midpoint of x on AB. So we're talking about AB here. That's all we're interested in at the moment. The circle, we're going to come into that in a moment. So the midpoint x. So the midpoint x, which could be somewhere around here, what that is in the x coordinates. So -2 plus 4. So that's what we've got there, and divide that by 2. So that's what we need to start with. So -2 plus 4 is just +2. Divided by 2 gives me 1. So my midpoint x is already, we know, is 1. So let's find the midpoint y. So midpoint y. So now look at my starting position for y is 5. Final position is 13. Add them together and divide by 2. So 13 plus 5 is 18, divided by 2 is 9. So therefore I can say now already my AB, so AB, that becomes 1 and 9. So that's the equivalent for my midpoint. So that's what we've got for the centre. So this here will be 1, 9. So let's just write that on our graph. So that's my centre. Okay, now my radius, I need to find out what half of the length of this hypotenuse could be. Now for my radius, I just need to find out what half the length of this line is. Now, if I've got a line like this on a graph, the best place to start is Pythagoras theorem. So let's have a look what that could be. So we'll call this the diameter. So the diameter squared equals this line here. So let's just draw up a nice little right angled triangle. So the length of this side here, so I'm going to call that K. And my height of this triangle, I'm going to call that J. Okay, so therefore D squared equals K squared plus J squared. And K is the length of this side here, which goes from 4 to -2, which is 6. So D squared equals 6 squared plus J, which is 13 to 5, which is 8. So that's, I done 8 squared. Okay, well, these are good numbers to work with. D squared is 36. 8 squared is 64. 64 plus 36 is 100. So therefore D equals square root of 100, which equals 10. So that's my diameter. So if my diameter is 10, then my radius equals 5. So that's what I've got so far. So now with this information, I can now find the equation of that circle, as I've got AB and I've got my radius. So now I can write this as x minus, well, if x, my midpoint of x is 1, so x minus 1, that's my centre of my circle, and add y minus b, which is 9, so y minus 9 squared. So the square goes on the outside of the bracket, and then that equals my radius, which is 5 squared. Okay, now just to simplify this off, just for the final answer, x minus 1 squared plus y minus 9 squared equals 25. And that'd be a good place for us to stop.